Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to my WWE 205 live review for March 21st, 2017. Sorry, this video is getting up late. I was just busy doing homework and other things like that, and I just haven't had time to watch it, but I'm here watching it now. I actually watched it last night, but I had some technical issues, so I couldn't get the review up, so I'm just doing it now. I have a lot of videos I want to get up today. I want to get up this, NXT. I want to make some videos talking about some wrestling talk, about some news that's been going around, and possibly tonight's Top World Promotions event. But there's a chance I may not be able to go. But starting with this though, we had Corey Graves and Tom Phillips on commentary. Mauro still out sick, so actually there was more of a news on that, and I'm going to talk about it later on today in a video. But Mauro still out sick, so Tom Phillips was filling in for him, and the first thing that happens is Neville gets interviewed, and he talks about how Mustafa Ali made a stupid and careless mistake to interrupt him last week, and he's going to make him pay for it. And he talks about how Austin Aries probably isn't going to watch because he just runs his mouth all the time. And he said that Austin Aries is going to realize that I'm the master of the cruiserweights, and he's going to realize that at WrestleMania. And then we had the first actual match on the show. It was T.J. Perkins versus Tony Nese. This match wasn't bad. This was a match that at least had some storyline behind it, where they've been kind of butted heads for a while. Tony Nese, T.J. Perkins eliminated Tony Nese from the Fatal 5-Way match last week, so this match did have some storyline behind it. But it was a really good match. They both started chain wrestling each other. T.J. Perkins hits a Hurricanrana and a flip dive over the top rope. Tony Nese takes control. He hits a high knee and he just dominates T.J. Perkins. He hits a wicked clothesline on him, almost taking his head off. But then eventually T.J. Perkins starts to make his comeback. Actually, no, there was a spot where Tony Nese hits like a bunch of kicks on T.J. Perkins, and he hits one right off the face. I thought that was really cool. Then T.J. Perkins hits a crossbody, and then he just starts to make his comeback. But eventually Tony Nese cuts him off. He hits a moonsault, and then T.J. Perkins gets him goes for the detonation kick. But Tony Nese is trying to do whatever he can to hold on, but he accidentally whips off the middle turnbuckle. But Perkins is able to counter into a jumping cross arm breaker. But Tony Nese is able to fight out of it. He tries to turn it into a triangle choke, but he fails. And then eventually, Tony Nese hits a German suplex into the exposed turnbuckle and hits the running knee for the win. So Tony Nese goes over. I was absolutely fine with Tony Nese going over. I think Tony Nese is actually really talented, and he deserves to get somewhat of a push. So I'm happy about this. Then backstage, Drew Gulak gets interviewed, and he says that last week he was just frustrated, but he does believe that 205 Live needs a change, and what the change needs to happen is the fans, because the fans cheering for all these cruiserweights to put their bodies on the line, do all these high spots, but that's just going to end up costing them their career at the end of the day. Well, he doesn't do any of these high spots. He just wrestles people and tries to beat the crap out of them, and he says that needs to change. So I actually did like his promo here, and it actually is stuff that actually makes sense, and I kind of hope they run with this. With this a little bit after WrestleMania, give Drew Gulak a push, because I think he's pretty talented. Then we had the next match. It was Akira Tozawa versus some jobber. They never said his name. Pretty much the whole match is just Akira Tozawa just immediately hits the bridge German suplex, covers him for the win, and Akira Tozawa goes over. Nice dominant fashion. I wonder how he got his postcode, but what's it called? His travel pass back. I forget what it's called now. But afterwards, Akira Tozawa calls out the Brian Kendrick to come out and fight him, but Kendrick never comes out. And then Akira Tozawa says, "Okay, I'm gonna come find you." So he goes outside the ring. He gets ambushed by someone. Somebody from security, which we find out later on that it's the Brian Kendrick dressed up as a security guard. And he throws Tozawa into the barricade. And then he hits the sliced bread number 2 on the floor. And then he gets on the mic and says that Akira Tozawa has to keep teaching Akira Tozawa's lessons week after week, and he keeps laying them out. And he said this is lesson number 7. People can show up in weird places, which I thought was good. I still like this feud between Tozawa and Kendrick, and I kind of hope this leads to a match on the WrestleMania pre-show, because I think it's deserved that spot, because they've been building it up for a while, and I actually like this feud. And then Jack Gallagher and Rich Swann are backstage, and Noam Dar and Arie Daivari come up, and Noam Dar says that he got Alicia Fox another gift. It's a pretty much some lingerie, and says he wants to know. He pretty much warns Rich Swann, because he feels like he's the one that's sending all these gifts. Really, that there's gonna be no more gifts anymore, and Rich Swann's like, you don't need to tell me that. And then eventually he challenges Rich Swann to a match next week, Rich Swann challenges him to a match next week, which he accepts, and then that was it. I thought this was pretty lame, nothing really too fancy, and I don't like this feud between Rich Swann and Noam Dar, and the whole Arie Daivari Jack Gallagher stuff. It's just lame. So then we had Austin Aries' WrestleMania message to Neville. Austin Aries comes out and says he tried to conduct an in-ring interview with Neville. However, Neville was just bad in the interview. So he says that he's just going to cut Neville out, and he's prepared himself some questions that he's going to answer about Neville. He asks if Neville is on top of his game. He says yes. He says does he feel like he's on Neville's level, and he says that he's not on Neville's level. He's above him. He's on the A double level. And then he says, then he asks what's Neville's most embarrassing story, so he goes to tell it. And Neville says, I have a story to tell. It's about a punk who wouldn't shut his mouth and got beat up before and didn't make it to WrestleMania. Then Aries says that that's not a very good story. He's like, you remember what happened when we were in this room before? I ended up laying you out. And Neville tells Aries that he's said enough for tonight, you can leave. And then Aries says, no, I've been invited to do color commentary to watch a match with Mustafa Ali, so that's what happens. It's Neville versus Mustafa Ali with Austin Aries on commentary. I thought this match was really good. I really enjoyed it. Mustafa Ali dominates the matchup. He hits a rolling clothesline coming into the ring. And then eventually Neville takes the control of the matchup for a while, beats the crap out of Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali starts to make a comeback. He hits a rolling neck breaker. And then eventually he hits a rolling neck breaker. He hits the a springboard fly swatter off the top rope, but Neville kicks out. Neville hits a German suplex off the top rope, and Neville just loses it. He throws Mustafa Ali headfirst into the turnbuckle, and then he stares down Austin Aries, and he makes him taps the Winds of Saturn, and he has a face-off with Aries afterwards. And I thought this was pretty good, a nice way to build up to the Cruiserweight title match. And overall, I thought 205 Live was a pretty good show. I like the stuff they did with Kendrick and Tozawa. I like the match between T.J. Perkins and Tony Nese. Drew Gulak was good on this show, and the stuff they did building up to the Cruiserweight title match was good. So overall, I thought 205 Live was pretty good. I would rate it probably a 7 out of 10. Good show. Good way to build up to the WrestleMania match, I thought they did a good job building up some angles. So that's pretty much it, guys. Make sure to subscribe to this channel, as well as my own The Talkinator and CM Brothers channel. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.